All of these databases you can subdivide down by state, city, income, gender. There's about 80 different ways you can filter it from here. There's people who obviously want phone lists, email lists, mailing lists. For now, I'm going to reference the business professional database because every one of these databases ends up getting pushed into here and it removes all the records that are not unique. So this is the collection of that have been aggregated. If you weren't in the email business, you have the functionality to make sure every one of these records that you download comes with an email. There's business email, there's personal email. I do not like business email. If you have experience doing email, you will understand why. For personal email, we'll go and flip that. And we're still left with 21 million unique people that have a personal email attached to them. And, maybe you also want to make sure everyone has a LinkedIn because you have a special type of direct campaign or you have VAs look these people up. If you want to make sure everyone has a LinkedIn, you can just flip that tab, shrink the audience down. So now we have 7.5 million people that have all that information. Those switches, what they do is they remove anything with an NA. If you don't require this information, so you just flip it, get more results. Some of you understand the phone business. So there's 5 phone numbers and 3 of them just never use it. They're reference points from when we skip trace. So we can confirm, is the new phone number we found? How confident are we that it goes to John? Direct phone number, never used. This is the first phone number ties to you, basically. If you were to find yourself, you'd probably find the phone number your home had when you were born. Now, skip trace, landline. If you use landlines, they're there for you. Then there's another phone called personal phone. That phone, do not use either. Those are the absolute worst. Company phone, personal phone, and direct. Skip trace wireless is the best. We don't have the switch flipped, and that's why you see NAs here. The way that I judge the phone numbers is what percentage ring indefinitely. They never hit a voicemail, and it just rings and rings and rings. So 5% of these numbers will do that. Another phone number listed as mobile, and everyone has a mobile. About 20% of these phone numbers do that, but there are plenty of ways you can figure out a process to try to scrape down and get that number down to 15%, just like we were doing with the skip tracing. But those are the only 2 numbers you should ever use. These other ones, you're going to complain and tell me they suck, and I'm going to say, I know they suck. Last thing you get is these Shade 256 in Google custom audiences, Facebook custom audiences, any of the online ad platforms across anything, the Microsoft Bing, TikTok, it works for all of them. This ID will let you advertise to those people directly. So if you were to get 1,000 of these collectively, and we have 22 million, you would be able to pick and choose who you show your paid ads to directly. So that's there's a lot of ways to utilize it. It's not just one way. And what I found personally is approaching it from, at least in this day and age, 2 or 3 ways. You guys probably see some of our ads because it's retargeting you. So if my emails don't deliver for 1 week, that's okay because you were getting retargeted at $5 per 1,000 people. It's just a process I found that works over time that builds. And
yeah. So is this an email marketing tool as well?
So what type of so it's set up where if you want to connect your, it's not set up as a front end as email, but if you know how to do your servers to a degree, the STMP, it's set up where you would be able to do that, but it's not plug and play. It's more so you can integrate it in yourself, or you can push this data into a different system. If you use Go High Level, we're working with them to figure out a faster way of moving the data in and out. What system do you use currently?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know like the Medicare business. I'm an insurance business, but for the Medicare business, if I was using the intent data and I called these people, would that be considered a compliant lead, and would I be able to show that this is a compliant lead?
100% no. I was just going to say,
No. Yeah,
100%.
now that I think about it, no, because they didn't contact me. They just
But the bigger issue is if you Google this, you'll have 5 attorneys, all licensed, who all practice this law, say different things. And that's what I tell people. It's like, where everybody is in Medicare, at least define the rules.
Okay.
And I always equate everything to Medicare, because if you figure out the compliant way for Medicare, everything else is compliant. But
Right.
so they can kick you up for selling Medicare versus just, a TCPA compliant.
Right.
So, but everything else, it just comes down to what do those 5 attorneys say all differently, and pick which one you want to listen to. Because
And I would add